Hello and welcome to the second video. In this video, we're going to estimate whether two random variables are independent. The two random variables here are males and females. And we have three political parties. We have Republican, Democrats, and Green. And we wanted to see if the political party independent upon gender or it's not independent, meaning dependence upon the gender. So in the alternative hypothesis, I'm going to go ahead and insert, and I'm going to slow this time versus the previous video that I was rushing through, so I made a few mistakes here and there. I'm going to go ahead and say the null hypothesis is going to be political party independent upon gender. The alternative hypothesis, HA, the political party, I'm going to go ahead and copy this and paste it here, but modify it, is dependent upon gender. So what we have here, first of all, let's take a look at the second one. We need to go at the critical value and determine the alpha value. First of all, alpha is going to be 0.05 at 95% confidence interval. And we're going to look at that with the degree of freedom. The degree of the freedom I have is 2 rows, in 3 columns. So it's going to be 2 rows minus 1 multiplied by 3 columns minus 1. It's going to give me 1 multiplied by 2. It's going to give me 2. So the degree of the freedom is 2. And I wanted to see where is the critical value starting, the rejection region, at what value. And here we go. Let's go to Minitab. And I'm going to go to the graph in order for me to determine the critical region probability distribution. I'm going to the view probability. Okay. Make sure that chi-square is being selected. The degree of the freedom now is 2. In the previous problem, it was 5. And I'm going to say okay, because we're going to leave it at 95%. Okay, the probability. And I'm going to click on it, and the value for starting at 5.991. So I'm going to write this down here. Chi-square start, the rejection region start at 5.991. So in this case, we have to get a value bigger or larger than 5. Here we go. Chi-square at this value is going to be chi-square. Let me go ahead and write it. It's not to confuse it with x square. It's going to be 5.991. So let's go ahead and see if that is going to be the case. All right, and now we have to actually calculate chi-square manually before we actually do it through Minitab. So I have those observed value, and we're going to look at the expected values. Let's go ahead and find. I'm going to go ahead and copy this here, and copy and put them down here. Okay, and I'm going to go ahead and squeeze this a little bit. Okay, now we're going to go ahead and say the total for each of those. Okay, this is what we're going to do. The total sum of all the, here we go. All right, and the sum also of all these. And the sum of the columns. Okay, and we're going to go ahead and do this and this and this. And we're going to go ahead and get this one here. then that's the sum of these two here, going to be 200. All right, and the sum of this also must be 200. So if I say here the sum of this also going to be 200. All right, so we wanted to find the expected values, and we're going to do it on the bottom here. Gender the expected value. It's a little bit more calculation in this example than the previous one. Okay, but we still need to be able to use it to show it manually. Here we go, copy, paste it. Okay, for this one expected value, it's going to be the 88 multiplied by 92 divided by 200. So for this value here, it's going to be this multiplied asterisk multiplied by this divided by the 200. It doesn't matter if you have a decimal points with the value. And since I'm using Excel, I could really use the fill handle. Here we go, 1 second here. Okay, let me show here. Okay, that's gonna be something wrong I'm doing here, no problem. I'll go ahead and do this one here. This is going to be this one here, 40. This multiplied by this divided by this. Okay, and we're going to go ahead and do this one here. This multiplied by this divided by 200. Here we go. And for this one here, we're going to say here multiplied by this one here divided by 200. And then this one here multiplied by this one here divided by 200. Okay, should have used, instead of 200, I should have used that cell address. It will allow me to do the whole thing. But let me go ahead and do it manually, one step at a time. And let's go ahead and do this one here. This one here, 88 multiplied by this one here divided by 200. And then it's going to be this one here multiplied by 24 divided by 200. All right, so this is will do it. If I want to do it again very quickly, I would say this here multiplied by this one here divided by this one here. Okay, and this one here is going to be always, we could lock it, we could lock that one here. Okay, let's do it like this. I don't want to confuse you with it. So let's go ahead and do this one here, multiplied by this one here, divided by this one here, get it done. All right, so those are my expected values. And what we're going to do here, I'm going to look at the summation, the difference between all these, and do the summation. And in order, look here at the problem here, the chi-square is going to be the observed value minus the expected value divided by square, of course, divided by the expected value. This can be done in Excel very easily. So I could go ahead and do it right here. So the sum, first of all, we could go ahead and do this. This one here, this is the expected value minus this one here, the of expected value divided by, of course, let's go ahead and raise that to the second power. Okay, whole thing raised to the second power, and that is divided by the, in this case, is divided by this guy here. Okay, that's the expected value. Let me go ahead and do it. 1 second here. This is going to be this one here, observed value minus the expected value. The whole thing is raised to the second power divided by this one here. And we're going to get the 3 point. Then I could go ahead and drag it to this one here, and drag it to this one here, and drag the whole thing down with the fill handle to get that calculation. Of course, that's too much of a decimal points. We could go ahead and put it two digit to the right of the decimal points would be enough. And now I have to add those together to find the calculated square. There is more calculation in this example than is going to be the actual hypothesis test. So chi-square is going to be, in this case, the sum of all these values. That's why I encourage you to do it in Excel. And here we go, we got 11.71. 11.71. In this case, if we have 11.71, that is larger than the 5.991, and therefore we have to reject the null hypothesis. Therefore, political parties are dependent upon gender. The political parties are dependent upon the gender. So let's go back to this one here and say, go ahead and say here 11.71 is greater than 0.991, and therefore here we go, number 5, we reject the null hypothesis. Therefore what? Therefore the political party is dependent upon, if we fail to reject the null hypothesis, then the other way upon, we'll have to say political party is independent upon gender. Here we go. So what are we going to do here? Let me go ahead and do it. And now we're going to go ahead and look at the b-value. The b-value must be less than 0.05 in order to continue with the story of rejecting the null hypothesis. So we're going to go to Minitab, and I'm going to go ahead and enter those data here. Okay. And actually, I could save myself here sometimes, and I will do it this way. I'm going to go to Excel, copy all this here, and hopefully that will do it. And I'm going to start right here and paste it, and it did work. So we're going to go ahead and run this test, but this test very carefully. Give me your attention here. We're going to go to the table, but we're going to do the cross tabulation in chi-square. And also, when we get to this one here, we wanted to change it to summarize data in two-way table. All right, and now we're going to get the columns containing Republican, Democrats in green. So go ahead and click on each one of them twice. And now the rows is going to be the gender. Click on it twice also to move into the rows. Counts, that's fine. Let's go chi-square. I need the chi-square test. I need the expected cell counted. And here we go. And here we go. And let's see here if we are able to get the same result that we got it earlier. Let me take a look at Excel and compare my calculation comparing to what I have. All right, let me go ahead and push that a little bit. And notice that the calculated expected values are they are the same as we calculated. And notice that the b-value is 0.003. That is less than the 0.05. So we maintain the story of rejecting the null hypothesis. Therefore, the political party dependent upon gender. And we could go to the Excel here and make it larger and write it into this one here as number 6. We're going to go ahead and say b-value equal to 0.003 is less than 0.05. So we reject the null hypothesis. Here we go. And thank you for watching this video. And if you have any question, we are going to continue with this, hopefully in additional videos, maybe in the future. But until then, have a great time. Bye-bye.